We're at an interesting time in my mind as far as conservation goes. We don't know everything, but we do know a lot, and we've come a long way in our understanding of how systems work and how we can live with them rather than battle them.
The challenge is to try and retain some of what was there before everybody came and try and make sure that we don't completely eliminate the populations of critters and stuff that live on the land.
People understanding why open space preservation is important is essential, and it's essential no matter where you live. We're not making any more land, right? So the choices that we make today are going to impact people for generations to come.
There are a lot of challenges to conservation aside from development, weeds, climate change, altered hydrology. And in order to meet our objectives, we have to constantly learn and we have to actively participate with that landscape.
And I think that's a key thing that both RCDs and land trusts get is the land, just setting it aside doesn't save it. Certainly as we've had human impacts on the land, we have to be involved in stewarding it for the long term.
A lot of people don't know about resource conservation districts. They're sort of a hidden gem. We've been around since the 30s. I would say probably we're the first sort of land managers that were really trying to understand the whole system of land and water and, you know, all the species that inhabit it, and including ourselves. How do we grow food safely? How do we do all the things that we do on landscapes?
The RCDs bring together an incredible amount of expertise, local expertise, that we utilize as much as possible for all of our projects.
In California, especially over the last decades, the pressure for development is substantial, and so land trusts have filled an important need in terms of easing some of that pressure and providing some buffers around cities.
We buy land, and that's a very tangible activity that we can do to protect the environment.
Land trusts bring conservation easements and acquisition possibilities, and the RCD bring incentives, whether that be education, permitting assistance, regulatory relief, or actually cost share to help install beneficial practices.
You know, as we support farmers and ranchers, they're actually ensuring that that land base remains there and available. So it's a critical function and a critical potential partner for RCDs.
Ranching is getting, and all agriculture, there's a lot of challenges that agriculturalists face. And in times like this year, where we have drought, we have higher fuel costs, we have higher feed costs. It's really not sustainable unless you really work as a village and as a team and you take advantage of all the resources that are out there.
With both this technical assistance in terms of engineering and biological studies and so forth, they've allowed us to do some things so that we can do a better job managing the land and taking care of the land.
I have yet to meet a landowner who doesn't have complete passion for managing all the things on their land, whether that's the resource that they're making an income from, or just the fact that they want to have poppies every year pop up in a meadow, you know, on their property.
What we try and do is create the most healthy environment we can for grass to grow and cattle to graze on. And that translates into basically making sure that what we do doesn't negatively impact anything on the landscape. When everything's working together, then it's working well.
I think it's key for all the entities that we are working together and seeing the value in the different relationships and strengths that we bring to the table.
We're always going to have ups and downs with funding for conservation in California, and we have to get over that, you know, sort of the highs and the lows and collapse that and work as a collective.
It's vital that we're all doing this, and ultimately I think where we have teamed together and where we've worked on a project together, we have a bigger impact than either of us would have on our own. Because of that leveraging of resources and relationships that we get when we work together, we get more done than we would. And so we're going to continue to do that without question.